What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it's happening. I feel like I've done that more than once, but it really is happening. I mean, isn't it? Right now on Capitol Hill, big tech is getting absolutely grilled, roasted, rotisseried. Will it matter? Will it change anything? I don't know, but it looks like, from some of the clips I've seen, it's not going well for big tech. You can see, here's some live updates. Big tech CEOs to testify before Senate. The Senate Commerce Committee voted last week to authorize subpoenas to Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey. The leaders of the three biggest tech companies in the world are facing a dilemma of their own after a documentary about the issues caused by their services sparked a Senate hearing Wednesday. The CEO technology, what Netflix documentary are they talking about? I don't even know. That's weird. The Senate Commerce Committee voted last week to authorize subpoenas. And you see Ted Cruz questioning, by the way, cruise missile, I appreciate you, man. Questioning CEO Jack about censorship, New York Post, and the laptop story. Cruz, you can censor the New York Post. You can censor Politico. Who elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report? 1 hour before that, Democratic Senator Schatz says that nothing seen a hearing on any topic, especially on political speech, so close to an election, saying the hearing is a misuse of taxpayer dollars. Well, geez, it sounds like a bootlicker for the mega corporations, right? I mean, it sounds like somebody is a big fan of the censorship. And if you look at just this clip, right? Let's just look at this clip. The Zodiac killer strikes again, right? Here we go.
You can censor the New York Post. You can censor Politico. Presumably, you can censor the New York Times or any other media outlet. Yep. Mr. Dorsey, who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear? And why do you
cruise missile away?
persist in behaving as a Democratic super PAC, silencing
He's right.
views to the contrary of your political beliefs?
He's 100% right there. He's 100% right that big tech isn't necessarily just censoring things they don't like. They are censoring things that actively support the political parties or that hurt the political parties that they back. Facebook, Google, and Twitter CEOs take heat in Senate over content. Big tech CEOs were in a familiar setting Wednesday, another squirm-inducing congressional grilling. Mobile. I want them there. An apparent double standard and selective censorship during the 2020 election suppresses conservative voices on the internet, prompting the need for change. Senator Roger Wicker, Mississippi chairman of the committee, said in an opening statement. He subsequently drilled down on a greatest hits list of grievances that include social media's handlings around stories around the infamous laptop, the coup, and voter fraud. Wicker and other Republican senators are threatening to revise Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which spares social media sites from being held liable for the content posted by their users. While Republicans insist there is bias against conservative values, there is. Democrats counter that social media doesn't go far enough to tamp down words they don't like and misinformation. So I didn't know. I mean, today I found out that apparently I'm a Republican. I never thought I would be a Republican, but the Overton window has shifted so far that somebody that I'm like a tree hugger. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro gay marriage. I'm pro legalizing it. These are the things, like the core tenets of what I thought a liberal was 15 years ago, 10 years ago. But in just 10 short years, apparently, I'm a conservative now. This is why so many people, it's like you can't have a nuanced take on anything. Look, you're either pro-life or you're pro-choice. Okay? I know how I would handle it, right? I wouldn't want to do that, but I also don't think I should have any control over what another human does with their body, Okay, they're the ones that have to deal with that, not me, right? They're the ones that have to deal with the decisions that they make. I don't think the law should be involved there. I suppose that's more libertarian than technically pro-choice. But ultimately, I don't know. I mean, like, legitimately, I would have told anyone that I've never really identified myself as a Democrat. I voted all over. I voted libertarian more often or third party than not. But I've voted. I'm sorry, always. I've voted Republican candidates. I've voted for Democratic candidates. I've voted for third party candidates and libertarian candidates. So apparently that makes me a Republican now. When did Republicans become the only party that is battling against censorship? When I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, I remember Tipper Gore, and I remember these lists of demon music, right? Top 10 bands that you couldn't listen to because they were worshipers of the devil. These were the Republicans I knew. Now they're the only ones fighting against censorship. It's insane. What kind of topsy-turvy world are we living in? What can we do on transparency and reporting and analysis to ensure diversity of voices online? Asked Senator Maria Cantwell, Democrat. She noted a steep decline in revenue for broadcast and print outlets as digital giants Facebook, Google continue to gobble up advertising sales. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat, Minnesota, and Richard Blumenthal, Democrat, both called for antitrust action, but chided their Republican colleagues for browbeating. Yes, please be nice to the CEO of Google. Oh, their feelings. Could they lick any more boot? Today's hearing is a hit job on the tech industry. So close to the election, Senator Brian Schatz from Hawaii said this hearing is a scam. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Look, I'll never tell people to vote. I would never tell people how to vote, and I'm not going to do that right now. But when you cast your ballot, think about whether or not censorship matters to you, and think about which side of the aisle is fighting against it and which is actively not only supporting it, but asking for more. Just saying. Both parties agree something needs to be done about Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a crucial internet law that protects social media sites from being held liable for content posted by their users. Again, Section 230 is important for content platforms, not for content publishers. And once you start publishing by omission, you are no longer a content platform. You are a publisher and should not receive those same protections. The scolding comes amid bipartisan criticism against big tech a day before all four companies under regulatory scrutiny, Google, Facebook, and Apple, all down, by the way, today, report earnings. So far, none have shown financial effects of government scrutiny. All three tech executives, while acknowledging flaws in Section 230, insisted that the internet's most important law for free speech and safety. Removing Section 230 will remove free speech from the internet. Where's free speech on the internet? You have to go to alt tech to even have a semblance of it. And even there, things are still pretty regulated. I mean, I support BitChute, Odyssey, Parler, Minds. But even there are things you can't say. The highly politicized hearing also touched on the Justice Department's antitrust suit against Google. The Senate Judiciary Committee has approved subpoenas for Zuckerberg and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey before Congress again to explain their content moderation practices. A date is yet to be set. A blustery tone and rote narrative of Wednesday's hearings was an exercise in PR and noise-making. Jim Steyer, CEO of Common Sense Media, told MarketWatch, the argument that social media pushes against conservatives is absurd. Facebook and Twitter have amplified Trump. Still, he agrees. What? Show me where there are mass bannings of liberal content. Show me. Show me when they're suppressing things that make the president look bad. Remember when the dossier came out? They had no problem letting that trend for days, even though it was fake, right? Don't give me that crap. Look, I want to have both sides of the aisle agree on tech censorship. But if one of them is going to be moronic about it, then I have to back the other. And I hate that. We see Jack here. Thank you, members of the Commerce Committee, for the opportunity to speak with the American people about Twitter and Section 230. My remarks will be brief. Get to questions of Section 230, the most important law protecting internet speech. Removing Section 230 will remove speech from the internet. No, it won't. And anyway, you mean to say free speech, not speech. Jack is a buffoon. I mean, it's how do I show my displeasure for things like this? We need a thumbs down button on Twitter. Of course, says the one actively removing speech from the internet. I mean, Jack Dorsey's getting absolutely destroyed in his own comment section. Why? Because everybody knows. The left knows that Democrats know that Silicon Valley works for them. That's why not only are they not admonishing them, because they're benefiting from them, they are actively asking for more. Any idiot can see this. And why is it that only Ted Cruz seems to be the one, and Tulsi Gabbard, really, these are like the only 2 or 3 people that even seem to care. The reason you're not hearing anything from one side of the aisle is clear. They're benefiting from free speech censorship because Twitter, Google, Facebook, they act like their own content producers by actively removing things that make things they want look bad. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share it far and wide. We'll talk to you again real soon.